believers. Time is almost up when he make that trumpet blast. Who gon' rise up? Calling all believers. Trumpet blast. Time is almost up. Calling all believers. Waiting on our Redeemer. Many years on this narrow path, I ain't leaving. Where else will we go? Ain't nothing out Look there. Around. Look around. Where else? Yeah, the world is ending and they feeling it now. They hit the old path, we remember it. The little ones speaking the language that was spoken up inside now. Chosen. Hebrew hieroglyphics, these scriptures is coded. The volume of the book, yeah, we're speaking of them. Bereshit with all its proof, why would you seek another? When I read the Hebrew scroll, all I see is numbers, but it's written in letters. We closer than we thinking, they won't see it coming. We don't know the day or the hour, we still watching. Addicted to pure doctrine, the Torah and the prophets, the Gospels, Acts of the Apostles. The book of Revelations unfolding. The beast is rising right under our noses. Just keep scrolling, you won't notice. Who gon' rise up? Daniel 12:1, Joel 2:1. Calling all believers. Time is almost up when he make that trumpet blast. Who gon' rise up? Calling all believers. Trumpet blast. Time is almost up. Time's almost Calling all believers. Who gon' rise up? Angels on the sideline, waiting for their moment. Don't sleep, keep your eyes wide. These the moments the prophets was dreaming of. Confederations, your enemies teaming up. But there's more with us than with them, I guarantee. Many trust in chariots and horses. I look to Zion for my help, that's what my source is. The kingdom of heaven is his fortress. Abanawa, almighty power. Our Father, we close to the wrath of the Lamb. I don't think they understand. Who gon' rise up? Daniel 12:1, Joel 2:1. Calling all believers. Time is almost up when he make that trumpet blast. Who gon' rise up? Calling all believers. Trumpet blast. Worldwide. Time is almost up. We gon' see. Last days.
All right, y'all. I pray that set the tone, for what we about to go into. I believe that this is a very important time that what we going into. So what I want to do is I want to call everybody that has a shofar to come to the screen, and we're gonna blow up the shofar and make a joyful noise, sweet sound unto the Most High all together. And I know sometimes you can't hear it. Oh, I got an echo. Let's see. Let's see. Does everybody still hear echo?
You good?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I didn't do nothing different. But nonetheless, everyone that has your shofar, go grab it. Come to the screen. I wanna blow the shofar up into the Most High. So I'll give those that have a shofar time to go get it. Y'all let me know if y'all need more time. Look like it's just me and Matthew. What it's looking like. Both said his don't like him. If you don't go get that thing and blow it anyways, just blow it all air. You gonna blow it anyways. Just blow it to the Most High. All praise. Like we got Austin with his, all praise. Christina got hers, all praise to the Most High. Anybody else? I'm gonna give maybe one more minute. Okay, there we go. Look, Christopher got his. All right. Like Stacy got hers, or somebody in Stacy's camp got theirs. Okay. All right. Now what we're gonna do, we all gonna come off of mute. So unmute all of your mics. Sometimes you can't hear it because of the high pitch of the sound, but nonetheless, we're gonna do it anyways. So if you gotta take yourself off of mute, that way the others can possibly hear. All right. I think we got Brandy still on mute. Stacy still on mute.
We're on mute because we're about to get a belt over here.
Oh, okay.
I know that's right.
All right. Everybody turning into me today. That's never mind. We'll leave that alone.
No, for real, because I was like, I'm acting like Mel.
But all right, y'all. Let's make a joyful noise unto the Most High. Let's all blow our shofars at the moment.
Come over here so they can see.
All praise. Let's give the highest praise, Yada Yahuwah.
Yada Yahuwah.
Yada Yahuwah. Yada Yahuwah.
Yada
Yahuwah.
Thank you, Abba. Toda Rabbah.
All right. That was mine.
All right, y'all.
Yahuwah. Yahuwah. Yada Yahuwah.
Yada Yahuwah. All praise. Praise Abba. All right, y'all. Y'all ain't got to stay on the screen. I'm about to share my screen. So if you want to stay on screen, you can. But I got a PowerPoint for us today, so we're not really gonna be able to see each other. Let me go ahead and share the PowerPoint. All praise, Yada Yahuwah. That just gave me life right there. I can't wait to do that in person. I can't wait to do that in person. All praise. All praise. All right. Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Let's see. So what we going this is our, our ministry scripture, our, family scripture. Revelation 14:12. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah and the faith in Mashiach. That is what for those of y'all that's on YouTube, that might be watching this on YouTube, tuning in just now, or you might see this a couple days from now, that is what, the foundation of what we believe. We believe that we are supposed to keep the commandments of the Father, who we know is Yahuwah, and we're going to keep the faith in the Son, who we know as Yahusha. Don't find it strange if you come across this video on YouTube and you hear those names. We're just going back to the ancient way of the pronunciation of the Father's name, which is Yahuwah instead of God, and then Yahusha instead of Jesus. I believe it's on YouTube, sis, if I'm not mistaken. But all praise to the Most High. So you will hear us use the true names of the Father, and you might hear us say Ak, which just means brother, or Akoti, is sister, or you might hear me say the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Hebrew form of the Holy Spirit. So all praise to the Most High. Welcome and shalom to you all. But other than that, I will say, pull out your book of scripture, because we're going to be on the PowerPoint today. So I'm not going to be going back and forth from screen to screen, pulling up the scriptures, for us on here. So you're going to have your book of scriptures, or you can pull up on your phone or whatever, but you're going to have to be able to pull it up yourself to be able to follow along, because it's going to be hard to just hear it and then just try to keep track that way. So everybody that has a book of scriptures, pull out the book of scriptures, get your marker, get your pen, and follow along. Okay, and Ak Prime said if you're following on YouTube, or if you are tuning in on YouTube and you catch this, some days from now, the scriptures will be at the bottom of the screen on YouTube. So all praise to the Most High. And like a good elder of mine always says, he says, don't spectate, participate. So if you, my brother, my sister, if you have a precept, a scripture that the Most High laid upon your heart, or just some thoughts that he laid upon your heart, feel free to share. Feel free to share. In the course of the message. You don't have to just sit here and just listen to me. We like the interaction. So feel free to share. All right. So that is our welcome. All right. But we're going into the memorial of blowing of trumpets. We just blew the shofar before we just got started. So this is a very important time that I believe we are entering into. Excuse me if y'all hear me coughing. Been dealing with a little sickness, but this is a very important time that we are going into. These are the winter feast that we're entering into, and I believe this is the feast to sound the alarm, into the people, because the next thing that's coming, is the atonement. So we got to be ready to even be worthy of that atonement. We got to sound that alarm to ourselves, So all praise. All right, let's jump right into it. We're going to jump over to Leviticus chapter 23. And you all that's on YouTube, you might not be able to see this, but I'm going to be reading the chat as well. So we have one of the sisters, Sister Tuesday, said, I believe it's no coincidence that the world is in chaos or walking into it. We're rejoicing and repenting during these times. So all praise to the Most High. All praise. That is exactly what we need to be doing during this time. Do we have one that feels led to read for us today? Feel free. That would be very helpful as we're going through this. This is not going to be a very long PowerPoint or anything like that. Okay, all praise. Got
Me too, bro.
I'll be our reader today. And Matthew Yahoo, I guess they can interchange. So all praise to the Most High.
Back up. I tell you what, it works better when you tell me when to read. So we're not just sitting here like trying to figure out who's going to read. Just say who's going to read.
Hallelujah.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
All praise. All right, Bo, you can start us off.
Leviticus 23, verse 23 to 25. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Yasharal, saying, In the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you have a rest, a remembrance, a blowing of trumpets, a Kadesh gathering. You do no servile work, and you shall bring an offering made by fire to Yahuwah.
All praise. Appreciate that, Aki. So this is more commonly known as the verse that people go to. We're dealing with, the Feast of Trumpets or the Memorial of Trumpets. So this is normally the verse that people go to. So, and this is pretty much short and sweet, or the verse is, and it's pretty much short and sweet. He told Moses, speak to the children. He was dealing with Moses. Moses was the spokesman. He was the mediator at that time. And he said, in the 7th month, the 1st day of the month, you should have a rest, which is a Shabbat. If you're reading it from the KJV, it's going to say, let me see. It should be a holy convocation is what it's going to say in the KJV, which, you're going to treat that just like a Shabbat, right? And then, so with this particular verse, it doesn't go, in great detail. It just tells you this is what it is. This is when it is. You're not supposed to work. You're going to treat this thing like a Shabbat. So this is pretty simple, if you're reading it, from this verse, right? But when you're dealing with the scriptures, you have to kind of go line upon line. I'm more so speaking to the ones that don't know. Majority of the ones that's on Zoom with us, you already know this. So, I'm not really speaking to you. I'm speaking to those that might be on YouTube and first coming into this truth or whatever. So when you're dealing with the scriptures of the Most High, traditionally you're in church, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us came from the church background, and you're just sitting and you're listening, and you're not taught to search out things in the scriptures. So when you get a scripture like this, it doesn't give you too much. So what you have to do is you have to search out the scriptures. It's good to have, you know, apps such as like the eSword, you know, if you want to download that app, or the Blue Letter Bible, you know, download something like that. And what it'll do is you can type in certain keywords. So if you type in Feast of Trumpets, or not really Feast of Trumpets, or just type in the word trumpets, it's going to give you everything pertaining to that word. It's going to pull it up for you. And then it'll make your search a lot easier. You know, you'll be able to go through and check out different verses and see how you can tie these verses in together. You know, so if you don't, you know, do that already, or if you unfamiliar with that, you know, I do suggest that you know, start doing that, because it'll make your studies a lot more in depth. And just play around with those apps, and you'll be able to see things a lot more clearly, you know, than what we're traditionally taught. You know, we're not really taught to study. So let's find out, you know, what he's saying right here on a more in-depth level. So let's keep going. All right. So the first question that I had for, you know, for myself and anyone, you know, that read that particular verse, the first thing that I would want to know, like he said, on the first day of the month. So, okay, well, how do we even know, you know, when it's a new month? You know, that's a question, you know, to all, because I know there's different answers possibly, but feel free. I don't, more so unmute your mic. I like the interaction that way, you know, to hear the people interact with me.
New moon.
The new moon, okay. Anybody else? Okay. All praise, all praise. So the new moon. All right. So what we need to do is let's look up that word month. So you don't really have to do it. You know, I already got it, you know, on the screen on the next slide. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look up the word month, because he said in the first day of the month. So we need to figure out the word month. What does it mean? All right. And if you look on the left side of the screen, we're gonna deal with this one first. It's coming from H2320, and that word is Kodesh. Kodesh, some say Kodesh, but when you look it up in the ancient, you know, Hebrew, it's more so Kodesh. All right, let me give you a sip of water. So Kodesh, and it means new moon, by implication, a month, monthly, new moon. All right, so nothing specific right there. It's just, okay, saying new moon. All right. Then the Brown Java Briggs says the same thing. First day of the month, monthly, new moon. Cool. But then when you look on the right, can you back up and say it again? Okay, that's kind of what I'm going over
we had
now.
some disagreement. We had some disagreement over here, and we missed what you said. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
We'll listen.
Yeah, I'm kind of going through it right now, so I don't think you really missed much. I'm just looking up that word month, and the attributes of it. So now when we go into where it comes from, if you look on the left side of your screen up at the top, it said this word is from H2318. So we have to click on that. If you have your eSword or your Blue Letter Bible, you'll be able to do that. Go tell your mom I'm doing something right now. So when you click on that word, on those numbers right there, it'll bring up the word Kodesh. So you see, one says Kodesh and one says Kodesh. This is more so your ancient, you know, Hebrew right there, where it says Kodesh on the right side of your screen. All right, and this one says to be new, to renew, to repair, to renew, to make anew, to repair. All right, And then if you look at the bottom of your screen, I actually pulled up the ancient Hebrew, and it goes even more specific. It says, the new moon, this is your ancient pictograph right here. And if Uzziyahu is on, I know him and Cliff are more versed in the pictograph and how to, pronounce and so on and so forth, and give the breakdown of the each pictograph. So if y'all feel led, definitely chime in. But I'm just gonna go based on what it's saying. It says new moon, and then it says the first crescent of the moon, as renewal of the moon, the first day of the month. So what I'm understanding is it's going to be that first crescent of the moon. And we all know what that first crescent of the moon is, right? When you first see that, you see that first sliver, right? So before I move on, does anyone have any questions about this? Because I thought this was, pretty simple. But do we have any questions, at least thus far?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Just when I was observing it, Kadash. Hey. My bad. The word Kadash, we know it's gonna contain the three letter Hebrew words of Chet, Dalet, and the Shin. But like right here, when they break it down, they got it as H, the Hey, the D, the Dalet, and the Shin. I wonder why. That was my only question. Like they didn't even break. I don't even think they broke it down right. But I'm just listening. That's the first thing I observed is they don't even have Chet like right there. HDSH instead of CH. CH should be there in the D and the SH. If you guys get what I'm saying.
I kind of get what you're saying, and that's why we got you and people like Cliff to educate us further, on these things. Because just because it's on, the Strongs or the Brown Java Briggs, that don't mean that it's not error, in there as well. So if you do come into a further, a deeper understanding on that, I definitely during the call or in the chat later on, definitely help us out, because that's one that I can't answer, right now. Does anybody else have anything? That's a great observation, though, Aki. Because one thing we was talking about the name the other day, and they pretty much done the same thing with the name, of the son, So, but nonetheless, that's a whole different conversation. But all right, cool. Let's keep it going then. All right. So this is what I would say is the first crescent, of the moon, which would be the new moon. And I took this photo from the Way Ministry on YouTube, and that's our brother, our good Clarence. Don't know if he's on right now, but if he is, appreciate you out for always posting each month the new moon. So if you haven't, go subscribe to his channel. He always posts the new moon, and then other things that he posts on there as well. Breakdowns and stuff like that. I think is a good follow for any of y'all that would like to follow the brother. So all praise to the Most High. So when you look up and see this, that's your indication that it is a new month. You have a new moon, the first crescent of the moon. And as I wrote right here, the only way we can know when the first day of the month is to look up and observe, right? We have to observe. Like it's kind of hard to, if you're following it, trying to keep your months the way that the Most High designed, it's gonna be kind of hard to just say, project your whole year, out, because you truly have to observe. You have to look up and see when the new month is, right? And if someone can get me, Matthew Yahoo, can you go ahead and read Genesis chapter 1, verse 14 and 15?
Yes, sir. Getting it. Genesis 1, 14 and 15.
Yes, sir.
Genesis
You won't see it on the screen unless you're on YouTube. For those that might see this video on YouTube down the line. So all that's with us right now on Zoom, you're going to have your scriptures in hand to see the scriptures.
All right, Genesis 1, 14 and 15. And Yahuwah said, let lights come to be an expanse of the Shamayim to separate the day from the night. And let them be for signs and appointed times and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament and the Shamayim to give light on the earth. And it came to be so.
All praise. I appreciate you, Ak.
Sir.
First of all, let me get there. So, as it says, those are lights in the firmament, not really for the Most High. They are for us. They are for us to keep track of our time. The Most High don't need that. He got his own light. He ain't worried about no sun, moon, and stars. He gave that stuff for us, right? So how else will we know when the first day of the 7th month is unless we use what he gave us? We have to look up, observe, see when the new month is, which is the first sighting of that crescent. Then once we see that, boom, you're gonna know, like, okay, now it's the first day of the 7th month. Is this, the feast of the blowing of trumpets. Now we do deal with these wicked governments, and I believe that they are spraying all kind of stuff and trying to block our visibility from seeing the sun and moon and all of that kind of stuff. But then you also got just natural storms and stuff that might prevent you from seeing the new moon. So you also have different apps that can help you out. Like if your area has been going through storms and all kind of stuff, and you might have missed the sighting of the new moon, you have apps. I think Austin, if he can post it in the chat for those that might not already have it, or Prime, I know those brothers probably can post something in the chat for us. And if you save these links, and you can go to these links each month, and these people all around the world are posting for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So you might miss it in your area because of the clouds or whatever, but you got people all around the world that's posting and letting us know, that we got each other's back, throughout all of this. So Prime or Austin, if y'all can find that link, post it in there. All right. So these lights are for us to, for our moedim, which is, our appointed times, for our days and our years. So we have to use these things to keep track of the year and our months and so on and so forth, our days.
I had a question.
Go ahead, sis.
So with you saying what you said pertaining to like needing the moon, or the moon stars innocent to know the days, could that mean that back then the days probably weren't like already set in place like they are today? Because it would have to be, it's like you would have to kind of see, like observe it, I guess you can say, before you can say like, okay, today is this day or that day, if you get what I'm asking. Like, how like
how we got names today and we didn't have names back then,
or more so dates, like, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Like we have dates today, so I'm saying, and they're already established, versus what I'm asking is like, could, like, based on that, like what you said, could that mean that back then it wasn't so, like, it wasn't like that, like you couldn't necessarily date it because you would have to observe it to know what day it actually is what I'm asking.
I definitely can wholeheartedly say, as far as your months, I can say that confidently as far as the months. Now, as far as the days, I do want to continue to study that further, because I know some people view that differently, and I want to hear them out, so I can have a full understanding, on that. But as far as your month, he clearly told us how to observe the month, and you can't, know that there's you can't even project out, that you can't project out your months because you have to look up and observe. It's kind of like with Moses. He had to, reestablish and re-give, them this knowing because they were in Egypt, you know what I'm saying? And they lost all of this stuff. So he had to reestablish it with them. And I believe when he gave it to Moses, that's the reason why he told Moses the seventh, certain things like saying the seventh month on the first day of the month. How else would they know, when the seventh month or the first day of the month would arrive unless they looked up and observed, which is the reason why he gave us Genesis 1, 14, 15. So I do believe it's all on observance. But, there is difference in opinion, on such. But that's a great question. Not prepared or too eager to go down, that I don't want to call it a rabbit hole, but go down that particular slope at the moment. I do want to save that for more so a discussion when we come closer to Tabernacles, and that way we can all discuss as a group. But great question, sis. All right, cool. So let's keep it pushing. As Tu was saying, that it makes me think how you couldn't even make any plans, shouldn't there wouldn't be a paper. Okay. All praise.
Real quick,
Go ahead.
I just want to answer Zatavia's question in the chat. So she said, right, because they just counted the days, which they did, because we see there was nowhere in Scripture where he ever named the days. That came from the Greco-Roman era. And we know that these days are named after their pagan gods. So in the Scripture, we see that he only numbered these days.
All praise. And if you got your hand, I'm just not seeing people had their hand up. I'm sorry. I got the chat open, so I can only look at my PowerPoint and the chat. So if you got your hand raised, forget raising hands today. Y'all just interrupt me. It's okay. Just
okay. Well, thank you for clarifying that for me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, if you got anything to say, just interrupt me. When I get to a stopping point, just say what you got to say. But all praise. Let's keep it moving, y'all. All right. Like I said, short and simple, right? Leviticus 23, Genesis 1, 14, 15. That's pretty much all we need to know, right? Not really. So he didn't really go too deep, in the explanation of what are we doing, for Feast of Trumpets? Like what is it? What's going on? Is there any prophetic meaning to it or anything like that? So let's move further into that. So let's jump over. Let's get Agbo. Jump over to Numbers chapter 10. Go to Numbers chapter 10. And we're going to read 1 through 10. Give the people a few more seconds to get there. Those of y'all that's got your books, follow along. Please open up your books. Follow along with us. All right, Agbo.
Hallelujah. Numbers chapter 10, verses 1 through 10, verse 1. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, make 2 silver trumpets for yourself. Make them of beaten work, and you shall use them for the gathering of the congregation and for breaking camp. And when they blow both of them, all the congregation shall meet before you at the door of the tent of appointment. And if they blow one, then the leaders, the heads of the thousands of Yasharal, shall gather to you. And when you blow a shout, the camps that lie on the east side shall depart. And when you blow a shout the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall depart. They blow a shout for them to depart, And when the assembly is to be assembled, you blow, but do not shout. And the sons of Aharon, the priests, blow with the trumpets. And it shall be to you for a law forever throughout your generations. And when you go into battle in your land against the enemy that distresses you, Then you shall shout with the trumpets, and you shall be remembered before Yahuwah your Elohim, and you shall be saved from your enemies. And in the day of your gladness, and in your appointed times, and at the beginning of your new moons, you shall blow the trumpets over your ascending offerings and over your slaughterings of peace offerings, and they shall be a remembrance for you before your Elohim. I am your your Alua.
All praise, all praise. Appreciate you reading that. I appreciate you reading that. All right. So I'm pretty sure by reading this, I'm pretty sure, a lot of the minds are beginning to think, those that don't understand, some might already understand this, but those that don't, you're probably beginning to think about some of the language in these verses. And it's probably making you think a little bit deeper than just Leviticus 23 and that verse. So let's take a look. Let's look up that word trumpet in verse number 2. Put the bag down. Let's look up that word trumpet in verse number 2. When somebody has pulled it up, preferably somebody that has it in the East Ward, when y'all pull it up, y'all let me know what y'all get. It's going to be H2689. Whoever that may be, don't be shy. I like the interaction.
You mean it like what? What's the name?
It's just the word trumpet. Trumpets. It's going to be in Numbers 10 and 2.
You said what?
In Numbers chapter 10, verse 2, that word trumpet right there in that verse.
I can't answer right now.
Okay, you got the children. It's all good. All right, I'll do it. I was just trying to get some interaction.
Hey, Ak, I got a definition. You want the definition or you want the Strongs?
Either or, it's fine.
All right. I mean, if this isn't what you're looking for, at least it'll give us some kind of view. Ancient Hebrew, the trumpet referred to a metal instrument called a katasera, or a horn called a shofar. The word katasera likely refers to a narrow instrument that was used for signaling alarms, assembling people, announcing important events, and religious purposes in the Old Testament. The shofar, often a ram's horn, is used in similar contexts, but also more specifically rituals like the Feast of Trumpets.
All praise. That's a great breakdown. Appreciate that, Aki.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate the interaction as well. So what I got here in the Strongs, a trumpet. Then the Brown Jarvis Briggs, it says trumpet. And then it also says clarion, right? So when I took a look at this, that word clarion, dang, if I could pull it up on the screen. No, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna pull it up. But when I looked at that word clarion, it brought up like an instrument that pretty much that we all are familiar with. A lot of us, I wasn't, but some of y'all might have been in band growing up and stuff like that. Well, when I took a look at what it was, it more so looked like this: the silver trumpets that they were commanded to have, and it made me think like, okay, so if we're calling the assembly and calling the gathering of the leaders, the elders, and whatnot, we're supposed to have some silver trumpets. Now, obviously, if we can't get our hands on some silver trumpets, it's okay. We'll just use what we got, such as the ram's horn, and we're not gonna make it grievous. But this is what he wrote, in this particular verse. The silver trumpet looking more so like that, right? And I'm like, okay, and it make a little more sense, because when you're blowing the horn, when you're sounding something like this, opposed to the ram's horn, this is gonna have a lot more like oomph to it. It's gonna have like a lot more power and a lot more utterance to it. Like it's literally, you're gonna hear this one. You know what I'm saying? Some of the shofars that we got, some of them make loud sounds, some of them don't. Some of them are high pitch, low pitch, whatever. But this right here don't matter. You're gonna hear this. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna sound like you got two of these blowing. It's gonna sound like you at a band, band practice or whatever. So moving forward, as I wrote here, he gave us very specific instructions for the blowing of the trumpets or the clarions for specific peoples, or people, and specific things. So let's go through line by line and examine this, right? Let's examine this. Numbers, go back to Numbers, and we're gonna go from verse 4 through 10. And I'm gonna just read line by line, and feel free, if the Most High give you anything, if he give you something to interrupt, feel free to speak. All right, verse 4. And it says, and if they blow but with one trumpet, then the princes, which are the head of thousands of Israel, shall gather themselves unto thee. That one was, it stood out to me because he gave a specific instruction right here. He said, if you blow with one trumpet, right? So you got to have two. But if you blow with one, that is a calling for the princes, or the the ones that are the heads. I guess more so, if we are on the land together, like we all hope to be by next year, if it be the Most High's will, then if we blow one of those trumpets, then it's gonna call the leaders. It's gonna call the heads. And I thought that was good because he's giving specific instruction right here. He ain't just saying like pick both of these things up and just be blowing them to call everybody. Nah, like when you blow one, I'm calling a specific group, right? Verse 5. When you blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east part shall go forward. So here's where I'm unsure, but I'm just gonna make a speculation. So I'm assuming one of these is for the calling, of the people, the specific people that it's supposed to call, and then the other is an alarm, or it could be that you blow that one for the calling of the people, or the way that you are specifically blowing it is an alarm. I'm not sure. I'm just making a speculation right there. One of y'all might have a better answer, than me. But I thought that was very intriguing too, because he made specific, about the alarm. Leah, go ahead.
I think from reading it, it kind of seems like it depends on how many times you blow it.
How many times?
So if they blow but with one trumpet, then the princes pay attention. But in verse 6, when you blow an alarm the second time, then I think it depends on the amount of times. One time, they know you're speaking to the leaders. 2 times, then you're speaking to everybody else.
All praise. That's why I like the interaction, because I had jumped right over that. So all praise to the Most High. All praise. Let me catch up with the chat. Go ahead.
Hey, she's absolutely right about that. And I like to blow it 3. I like to blow it 3 times. Today I did it 2, but I usually blow it 3 times. And the reason I do it, I usually do it at high noon on Saturday, or the opposite day of the beginning of Shabbat. In the evening when Shabbat first started, I do it 3 as well, because that's the sound of the battle cry. So me, it's like the Shema Yasharel, Yahuwah Elohim is one. So that's when everybody was getting together for like the battle cry. That was another thing the Shema Yasharel was used for. So I do it 3 for that reason. So she's right about that. And before you move on, I got some about the clarion that I think you'll find interesting. In biblical context, the clarion call refers to a loud, clear, and unmistakable summons to action, often from Yahuwah or a spiritual authority. As symbolized by the ancient war trumpet that gave the call, the term emphasizes clarity and urgency, demanding a response and urging people to awaken from complacency and move toward purpose, obedience, or divine intervention. I thought you liked that.
All praise, man. That's good. That's good there. Really good. Actually, I appreciate everybody chiming in, because sometimes you can gloss over things as well. So I appreciate Leah for spotting that out, because as I was reading it, I must have just skipped over that. So all praise for the Most High and His clarity as well. That's why I like the interaction. You know what I'm saying? I like the interaction rather than just looking at the chat. You know.
Real quick,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to piggyback off what Stacey said in the chat about different sounds, like the military, which is correct, because like when I was in basic training, there's different horns for different things. Like when they blow the first horn, they wake you up. That's for PT, and then you got another horn for breakfast. You got another horn for lunch, and so on and so forth. Then also, Abba had revealed to me, they call each branch of the military divisions and whatnot, and we know now that all these branches of these militaries were perversions of the 12 tribes. They were all copycats, basically. So,
man, it's good. I think that's a good point too, Stacey. Military. I wonder where they get all of this stuff from. I wonder where they, get, like you said, about the different blowing of the horns and trumpets, whatever the case that they be doing. Wonder where they get it from.
Same thing with the police. We used to call them 12s, and I was like, "Where do you think they got that from?" I was like,
"Oh man, I ain't never even put that together." That's a good observation too, Aki. All right, so let's keep it going. It says, let's jump down to verse 9. Okay, yeah, verse 9. And if ye go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresses you, then ye shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and ye shall be remembered before Yahuwah, your Elohim. Ye shall be saved from your enemies. So this is deeper than just physical. Obviously, we not finna be lining up and getting ready to go to war with the literal enemy. The here in these scattered places of Babylon, or some know America as Babylon. We ain't about to go to literal war against them, because it's not time, for that. Because that's why we got Mashiach. But we can send up that battle cry, that alarm unto the Most High, and He will go forth and fight our battles for us. If you're looking at it from a Ruach standpoint. And I do believe, though, even though we're looking at it from a Ruach standpoint, I do believe He will fight our battles, in the physical as well. It's just not the way that we perceive them to be. All praise. Verse 10, and in the day of your gladness and your solemn days, so this is your feast days right here, and in the beginning of your months. So we're supposed to be blowing and calling together the assembly, in the beginning of the months and on our solemn days, which is our feast days. We're supposed to be blowing these horns, these clarions, to call the assembly together, and offer up our sacrifices. Well, we know that we don't obviously sacrifice, excuse me, we don't sacrifice, we don't have to spill the blood of bulls and goats and all of that anymore. But what can we do? We can offer up our sacrifice of praise, our sacrifice of brokenness, all of those things that David listed out in Psalm, Thanksgiving, thank you, Tuesday, offer up those things. We don't have to spill the blood of animals no more, because we got a high priest. We have Hamashiach, but we still come together. We blow these horns, and we come together, call the assembly, and we send up our sacrifice of praise. That's why I can't wait till we get in the midst of each other in tabernacles. We're going to blow these horns, these shofars, and we're going to lift up a praise of worship. We're going to sing together. We're going to pray together, and we're going to lift up the highest praise unto the Most High together, and He will hear us. He will hear us, and He will, because we observing these things and doing them, in the right ruach. He will remember and go before us, as we enter back into the world. So And he said later on in that same verse, he said it's going to be a memorial before Yahuwah. So we continuously do these things on each of our solemn days, on our feast days, in the beginning of our months, on our Shabbats. We do these things. We call the assembly and we lift up that highest praise into the Most High. I think every call that we get on from this point forward, we should all lift up the highest praise together. Because that ushers in, I believe that ushers in the Ruach. And ushers that grabs the Most High attention, because we calling upon him, we're giving him that praise. We all doing it together. So all praise to the Most High. All right, let's keep it going. I'm sorry if I'm missing a lot of the chat, because kind of looking at my scriptures and looking at the PowerPoint and trying to catch the chat.
I got something up.
Go ahead, Aki.
You saying that about calling on to the Most High, it just made me think. I hope y'all can hear me. My bad. It just made me think about like everybody. I guess you could say picture that's in your mind. You know how like you would see in, I guess, like old movies or TV shows or something. They'd be like, okay, now entering into the room, the Duke of Ferdinand or something like that. And then they blow the horn and then he walk in. Like that's what I imagine. Like you blowing the horn and it announces specifically, what it's for or who it's for. So I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
Great job.
All praise, man. That's good. I do want to say this for the chat. While I was going through looking at the chat, this particular study is not, meant to debate about, the days and the like how you keep. None of that. I was more so specifically speaking on how we find the first day of the 7th month. That was pretty much it. But I do believe that we should continue those thoughts on. That wasn't my point of bringing that up for this particular message, though. But all praise to the Most High. All right. So we now know, why and when to blow the trumpet or the clarions, the horns. But when do we not blow? And I'll just go ahead and read this. And if any of the children that's listening, this is very important for y'all to get this understanding, as a lot of the adults, your parents, pretty much already have this understanding. But I threw this in here because it never hurts to go over this, just so the children can tell you to hear this. So Matthew 6, 1-4. This is telling you when not to blow the trumpet, or when not to be loud and boisterous about what's going on. All right, it says, take heed that ye do not your alms. Alms means good deeds, or your good tidings, the things that the Most High is leading you to do for people. He said, take heed that you do not your good deeds, your alms, before men, to be seen of them. Otherwise, ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Therefore, when you do thine alms or your good deeds, do not sound the trumpet before thee. So it's saying, don't announce, don't let everybody know what you're doing. And it's a reason why. He don't want you to do that, right? He said, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets. The hypocrites are the ones that wants all the attention. They want, the light to be shed upon them. But he said this, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, that they have their reward. You might get on social media and see people doing this and doing that and filming, them giving to the homeless and all kind of, things of that nature. Filming the homeless coming up and walking and, getting their things and putting their face all on it and, so on and so forth. You might see those things. But the views and the likes and the comments and everything that they get on those videos, that's their reward. Their reward doesn't go any further than that. He said, but when you do your good deeds, your alms, let not your left hand know what the right hand does, that thine alms may be in secret. And thy Father which sees you in secret seeth in secret, himself shall reward you openly. So, you children, you don't have to, if the Most High is telling you to pray for somebody or go give, this dollar to this person at the lunch table that you see that they're not eating, the Most High might have you go buy their lunch. You ain't got to put it on camera, and say, this is what I'm doing, or you ain't got to go tell your friends or this person or that person. You just go do it because the Most High he already seen you do it, and you're gonna get your reward later. Your reward is gonna be much, much greater than the ones that's doing those things openly and letting everybody know. And it's one said that if we are gonna boast, we're gonna boast in the Most High. So when we sounding the alarm and calling together the people, for the Feast of Trumpets or the Shabbat or Feast of Tabernacles, we're doing that because we're glorying in the Most High. We're giving the Most High the glory. We're sounding the alarm then. We're sounding the trumpet then because we want all His people to come. We want everybody to come and give praise to the Most High. It's not about us. It's us calling the people to come together to give praise to the Most High. But when you want to do it and give glory and boast in yourself and not boast in the Most High, then all you're doing is bringing the glory unto you, and that ain't got nothing to do with the Most High. You have your reward there. So that's when you should not, blow the trumpet and call the people to come and look and see what you're doing. You shouldn't be doing that when you're doing those things, right? That was more so an excerpt for the children. All right, let's keep it moving. All right. We noticed that they had silver, with them. But how did they get the silver? Now, a lot of us already know, the answer to this. So I'll just go ahead and open it up. How did they obtain that silver? To even have it, to make those horns. This is open to anybody. Anybody?
The Egyptians gave it to them.
All praise, all praise. Appreciate that, Doc. Appreciate the interaction. Exactly. So, if we hop over to Exodus 12 and 36, let's jump over there real quick. Matthew Yahoo, got me?
Yes, sir. Give me the verse again, brother.
Exodus 12, verse 36.
Yes, sir. Exodus 12, verse 36. And Yahuwah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Mitzrites. So they gave them what they had asked, and they plundered the Mitzrites.
Exactly. So as we was, our foremothers and forefathers was exiting out of the land of Mizraim, we took this, we spoiled them, that's why it said that we took the spoil. We took the gold and the silver. Some versions say borrowed, but we pretty much took it, along with us. Pharaoh was so angry and so pretty much defeated that he was like, man, just get it and go, basically. And the thing about the Most High, He not only does things once, sometimes He does things multiple times, and then sometimes He reserves things for the future as well. Give me 1 second, let me grab me a drink. So in this is also like a picture of like salvation, of getting back what belongs to you, so on and so forth. So let's take a deeper dive into this. I said, where do we see this happening again? In Isaiah 60. Going back up, that dude right there kind of looked like Trey Young a little bit. I don't know, that was just like a little side thought that I had. But let's jump over to Isaiah 60 real quick. Shh. Let's jump over to Isaiah 60. Bo, I think I got it on the screen, but you can pull it up as well. Isaiah 60:1-5.
Not again. Okay, Abba, I hear you. Say that 1-5.
Yes, sir.
Hallelujah. Arise, shine, for your light is come, and the esteem of Yahuwah has risen upon you. For look, darkness covers the earth, and thick darkness the peoples. But Yahuwah arises over you, and his esteem is seen upon you. When the nations shall come to your light, and sovereigns to the brightness of your rising. Lift up your eyes all around and see, all of them have gathered. They have come to you. Your sons come from afar, and your daughters are supported on the side. Then you shall see and be bright, and your heart shall throb and swell, for the wealth of the sea is turned to you. The riches of the nations come to you.
So we see, once again, this is, well, this could be a dual prophecy. Some look at this solely as a future prophecy to come, and then some, see it as happening, back during the time of Isaiah when they went back into the land of Jerusalem. But I can see it both ways. I can see this being fulfilled back then, but then I also can see this being a future prophecy as well, because of the language that's written, in this particular chapter, right? So we see right here that he not only spoiled the Egyptians coming out of the land of Mizraim, but he's doing it again. Whether you see this as being back during the time of entering back into the land of Jerusalem back then, whether it be, from coming out of Babylon, or whether you see it being a future thing for us, either way, he spoiled them. He's going to spoil them, and he spoiled them back then. And we see moving forward, excuse me. Sorry, I had to give my son that look. But Yahuwah, he's a just Elohim. He is a just king. He's a just master. What he promised to us, he is going to give it back. And what was taken and stolen by the hands of the nations, he is going to take and give it back. It don't really belong to us. It belongs to him. So, but all praise to the Most High that he will, once again, spoil the nations on our behalf. And moving forward.
That's like the scripture that says the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous.
The wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the wicked ain't doing nothing.
Facts.
But yep, the wicked ain't doing nothing but stealing the glory of the righteous, anyways. And that glory is gonna come back. So all praise to the Most High. Let's keep it moving. I said we're starting to see that memorial trumpets represents more than what is traditionally taught. They represent battle, gathering, and recompense / salvation. And this might be a little small, so I'll read this one if you can't see it. So this is just jumping down to verse 10. And it says, "And the sons of the strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor I have had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the nations, the Gentiles, that their kings may be brought." So all of those forces, all of those goods, and all of those things is still going to be given back, to the rightful owners of it, which is truly the Most High. So verse 12, "For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted. The glory of Lebanon shall come upon thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the sole of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of Yahuwah, Zion of the Holy One of Yahusha. Whereas you have been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee, I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. And you shall also suck the milk of the Gentiles. That pretty much just means, well, we'll look that word up. And suck the breast of kings, and you shall know that I, Yahuwah, am thy Savior and Redeemer, and the mighty one of Yaakov. So pretty much all that means that suck the milk of the Gentiles is, she said, here you go. I don't know what you mean, sis. But that particular word right there just means that you're gonna be taking, the riches, the good things of the nations. And we're gonna see again later on here shortly that this is gonna, I believe that this is a future thing, and I also see that it happened again, in the book of Revelation. But nonetheless, you're gonna be taking those goodly things and giving it back. So all the Most High is gonna do, here coming very soon, which is the reason why I believe that we are, supposed to be sounding these alarms, not only for just the Feast of Trumpets, but sounding the alarms before the people, and letting the people know that we should be coming to the Most High, because the next thing we got to do is make this atonement, because the Most High is coming by way of His Son, Yahusha HaMashiach, to spoil this earth, to spoil the nations, to spoil the wickedness, out of this earth, and He's going to give it, back, to the rightful owner, which is the Most High, so that spoiling of the nations is going to happen again. Why you think the nations are in a frenzy right now? Why you think they got so much going on? Why you think so much is going on right now as we speak? These people know that something is coming. Why do you think the enemy has got this doctrine out here that the rapture is about to happen for Feast of Trumpets, basically? It's because they trying to do anything that they can to throw a wrench in all of this stuff to prevent, this stuff from happening. The enemy is running to and fro and doing anything that he can to keep us blinded, to keep us, in subjection to confusion. But the righteous shall know, what's going on, and we're sounding that alarm. We're sounding that trumpet and letting the nations know, and the nations know that they are about to be spoiled. They are about to have to give everything up. They know it. You think these people that run these countries that are in subjection unto Satan, you don't think that they know the end? They know the end. They know it probably better than a lot of us do, which is the reason why they got to keep us confused and running to and fro and all that. So,
I had a question.
Oh, go ahead.
So would you say this is something we should do? Like whenever we be going out, I guess you can say y'all, but whenever the men, go out and witness and stuff, or it's more so like I guess you can say a spiritual sound of the alarm, like actually like speaking these things to come, but or as well as like actually blowing like the physical trumpet.
It's a great question, sis. I definitely believe whenever we going out, now obviously I don't think it hurts to blow the shofar, if you go out, or blow the horn when you go out, because I mean that does catch the eye, the attention of the people. But I do think that's more so ruach wise, because what we're supposed to be doing when we're out, is warning the people, sounding that alarm of warning through the words that we're speaking out of our mouth. Like Isaiah 58, 1 says, and Ezekiel 3, we have to warn the people, and I think that's rather than just the mere horn itself, the words that we're speaking is going to be the thing that does the cutting. That's going to be the thing that people hearken to, even more, So, but yeah, that is the alarm. Whenever we're speaking these words and people, are hearing these words, whenever you're encountering people in the grocery store, so on and so forth, you are sounding the alarm, in the Ruach, and you're causing the people to have to make a decision. And we should be letting the people know that, this earth is about to be bankrupt. All of these lands, your dues, are up. Your time is pretty much up. And that's the reason we should be telling the people this is the reason why this world is going through what it's going through now, because Satan know his time is up. You owe the Most High, and the Most High is coming to collect. That's what it is, and we supposed to be warning the people of that. So, but like I said, these trumpets represent so much more. It represents, the battle that's about to come. There's a great battle that is coming from Hamashiach. These horns will be blown, right? There's a gathering that's about to happen, by way of Hamashiach again, and then there's recompense. That means that just he's a just mighty creator. So the things that you thought that you done to his people, the ones that was walking in his way, whether it be of Yasharal or the ones of the nations that choose to cleave to the Most High and keep his ways, he's going to pay recompense. What you done to them, don't think that he's not a just, Yah. Those things that you thought that you done to them and thought that you got away with, he's going to pay recompense. You're gonna reap what you sow. So the things that we're about to suffer and that we have been suffering and what we're gonna go through, it's all a part of these alarms, these us blowing this horn. We're letting the people know that our salvation and our recompense is very near. We're letting them know that you better hop on this side, before that mercy ends, because mercy will end. So, this mean that we ain't getting raptured up on new moon, right? But we can forget that. Revelation 2:9 and 3:9 have a great purpose in this topic. Yep. All praise. That recompense, not just think about it. Let's touch on that just briefly. Revelation 2:9, 3:9. We know that there are people that say that they're Jews, but they are not. We know, like, the Jewish say that, I'm sorry if we get this video blocked off of YouTube, it's because I'm talking about this, but it is what it is. But the Ish, say that they are Jews, but we know that they are not. But then guess what? Who else has grabbed hold of the covenant and have taken the covenant and have been teaching it? Well, not grab hold of the covenant. Who has grabbed hold of them being the people and have replaced the people saying that they are the church? The Christian denominations, they have done away with the covenant actually, and just taught that, we are the church and we don't have to, do what, the Most High commanded Yasharal to do, So in a way, they have also taken a hold and proclaimed something that don't belong to them either. There's only, one people that this belongs to, and I'm grouping these people in together, and that is Yasharal, those in Yasharal that are hearkening to the ways and instructions of the Most High, and those are the nations that have cleaved on, which makes us one house, one body. Those are the ones that all this stuff is written to. It's not written to, all of y'all over there. And I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is. But let's keep it moving. Let's jump over to Matthew 24. I think it's Bo, Matthew 24, 29 through 31.
Matthew 24.
Yeah, I got to do better with finding different words for YouTube purposes. I got to be more filtered.
You got it. Matthew 24, verses 29 to 31. And immediately after the distress of those days, the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give its light, and the stars shall fall from the Shamayim, and the powers of the Shamayim shall be shaken. And then the sign of the Son of Man shall appear in the Shamayim, and then all the tribes of the earth shall mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of the Shamayim with power and much esteem. And he shall send his messengers with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his chosen ones from the four winds, from one end of the Shamayim to the other.
All praise. All praise. So these trumpets, outside of just the Feast of Trumpets, to me, it's beginning to show me that us coming back and observing this Feast of Trumpets is getting us ready for what's to come. Yahusha, obviously, he said it like right here in verse, what was that, 31? He shall send his Malachim with a great sound of a trumpet. So there's going to be a great sound, a trumpet, that's going to let the Malachim know when to go and redeem, the righteous. And I look at that as part of that salvation. Like, these trumpets represent salvation. It represents deliverance. We're going to be delivered from the hands of the wicked, So as I'm looking, just at this Feast of Trumpets and what it's representing to me, it's kind of letting me know, like, yeah, we're supposed to blow this trumpet for this Feast of Trumpet and call together the assembly for us to come together and give praise and send up that sacrifice of praise unto the Most High. And we're supposed to honor, that first day of that 7th month. But in the Ruach, it's telling us there's atonement coming right after this. I think that's the reason why we're supposed to blow this, the trumpet together. Also blow that alarm, that trumpet to alarm that there's a war about to happen as well. If you're looking at this in the Ruach, all of these things must happen. The gathering of the people, the war must happen. Atonement must happen. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a final atonement for these people, right? So it's letting us know to get ourselves together. We're not only observing this feast to just come together in the physical, but it's letting us know that we have to be found worthy to make it to the point to where we can tabernacle with the Most High. Our sins have to be gone. We can't even come before the Most High unless we are spotless, unless we are blameless, So this is an alarm for us, to call ourselves together, come together, pray and seek the Father's face and give up praise to him. And then afflict ourselves, affliction must happen, that's coming actually. This affliction is going to come throughout the tribulation because we got to be tried, by that fire. And those that endure, will be purified. But that affliction must happen during that atonement. We are, being atoned, for. And then once we have been found worthy, of that atonement, now we can tabernacle, with the Most High. We can't just go and just tabernacle with the Most High just right away. That ain't how it works. It's a process. We got to go through this process. And if we're not willing to go through this process, then we won't be found worthy to go before the Most High. This is why I hate to say it like this, but the denominations, the Christians and all of them, they're not willing to go through this process. They don't even recognize, they recognize all the worldly holidays, but they don't even recognize what thus saith the Most High about his feast. They're unwilling to go through that process. Only those that are willing to go through this process will be found worthy to tabernacle, with the Most High. So just putting it in that state, us doing this feast coming up, we should be taking this feast, serious, and then atonement and all of that serious, because it's gonna set the precedence for us whenever we actually get together in person for tabernacles. I can almost assure you that if we are not observing these feasts before tabernacles correctly, then it might be calamity during tabernacles. But if we all are taking these other feasts serious, and coming together and praying and taking the atonement serious, then come tabernacles, the Most High is already there. He's only going to be there if we done the process correctly. You know what I'm saying? So by the time we get to tabernacles, it's just going to be shalom. It's going to be rejoicing. It's going to be love. It's going to be all of those things because the Most High done went before us, because he done proved us. You know what I'm saying? And we done proved our faith to him that we was going to take this thing serious. So I know I kind of got off of what was on the screen a little bit, but these trumpets are definitely prophetic. Definitely prophetic. Anybody got a thing? I didn't even see the hands raised, man. Go ahead. You don't got to raise your hand. Just cut me off today.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off. But no, the seven seals in Revelation. We know those are warnings. The seven seals, and then we got the seven last plagues, which are the actual judgment. That's why I think Revelation 22 says, let me get it. It says those who are unjust. Let me get
it. That's a great precept.
Yeah, he said, "Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keep my sayings of prophecy of this book." And then it says right here, I'm trying to get this right. Can't find it. Oh yeah, verse 11. He that is unjust, let him be unjust. He which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. So the seven seals, that's just the warnings. But then we got the seven last plagues, which is the judgment. Now judgment's here. You weren't trying to hear the first time. So boom, now that's why I said right here. Unjust, that'll be unjust still, filthy. So that's good that you bring this message out. Trumpets of warning. Hint. Be cleansed. So we could dwell with the Father eternally.
All praise. You in the Ruach. Huh? You know why you in the Ruach?
Why?
Revelation chapter 8, verse 6 through 13. I'm gonna let Uziyahu take it since he already in the Ruach. You already spoke it up. Right in my notes, bro. On the very next page. All praise.
All praise. Revelation 8, verse 6.
You might want to give the people a little time to get there if they got their books open.
Oh yeah. My bad. Revelation 8, verse 6. Revelation 8, verse 6.
We finna read about exactly what Uziyahu was just talking about. That's how I know the Ruach is here, So I pray that this gives a little bit more clarity on what he was just trying to discuss. So, and we're not going to go into a deep breakdown of this, but I just want to read this because, like he said, these are the trumpets of warning. But you can go ahead, Ak.
Okay. Revelation 8, verse 6. And the seven angels which had the seven trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. And they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea had life, died. And the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened. And the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. Verse 13, and I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to sound.
So we got the first four that sent out, that blew their trumpets right here. So just prophetically, speaking, we're now, entering in. I believe we are entering into this tribulation period with this particular Trump, or we might have already entered in, but we will know, for a fact. But these trumpets are going to be blown in the kingdom of the Shemayim, or Shemayim. And when I was looking at this and trying to think, like, okay, where you want me to go with this, Abba? And he led me here, in the course of looking at this, he let me know, like, this is how important this feast is. This is how important these trumpets are, like, we should be looking at it like this. He's pouring out wrath upon the earth. And we are the ones that's inside of the earth that's supposed to be pushing forth the warning and alarms unto the people throughout the earth. He ain't going to do it. He ain't about to come off of his throne and just come down here and tell the people. He's using us to be the ones to do it. We are the ones that sounding the alarms. So even in before the throne, like, they're sounding these alarms and sending out these plagues upon the earth. Some of these plagues we can go through, and I'm actually not gonna go through and read the whole chapter and go through all the plagues that he's sending out. But these things are not for the righteous; they're for the wicked. And I personally believe that when these things are happening upon the earth, these trumpets that these angels are blowing, they are for us. I don't believe that he's warning the wicked with these, because the wicked have their judgment coming. When he's blowing these trumpets, or when the angels are blowing these trumpets and sending these things upon the earth, that is for us to understand. Because what did it say in 1 Thessalonians? It said, you, brethren, are not in darkness, that day shall overcome you like a thief in the night. So when we're looking at it like this, who is he blowing these alarms to? Who is he blowing these trumpets to? He's blowing it to the righteous. The righteous are the ones that are gonna hear these things. Like, we might not hear it literally with our ears, but he is going to let us know in the Ruach that he's pouring this stuff out on the earth, and we're not gonna be kept in darkness about it. And the reason why he's doing that is because, let me see. Really, it's because he's not going to keep us in darkness about the return of the Messiah. We might not know the hour nor the day, but we are going to know when Messiah is coming. We are going to know. Like I said, we might not know the hour or day, but he's not going to keep us in darkness that it takes us like a thief in the night. We're going to know. And that's what these alarms are for. That's what these trumpets are for us to know. Go ahead, whoever that was.
Oh, no, I just wanted to add a precept on that. Unfortunately, I'm driving right now, but I believe it's in Proverbs. I believe it's Proverbs 21. A righteous man sees trouble coming and prepares himself and hides himself, but a fool passes on and is destroyed. So that goes along with the trumpets warning the righteous, and the wicked paying no heed to them. Their judgment is coming.
Oh, praise. That's good. And the wicked ain't gonna hear it anyways, because their ear is not inclined to hear the Most High. So when he's pouring this stuff out on the earth, what you think the rest of the folks gonna be doing? They're gonna be going right along with whatever is going on in the earth. That's why they said that they're gonna take the the mark and all of that kind of stuff. They gonna be the ones, that's taking all of that stuff. It's not gonna be us. We're gonna be going through tribulation. And while we're going through that tribulation and not being able to, do everything else that our family, friends, and all that them are doing, prayerfully we all, hidden away on some land together. But if we have to go through the tribulation, in the midst of all of that, then guess what? That's the us seeing stuff happen around the world is gonna be letting us know that the Father is showing us that the time is near. Your redemption is near. Your salvation is near. And he's like, I believe that these plagues and these trumpets is giving us, that much more boost of endurance, because he's letting us know, like, okay, now keep going, keep enduring. Like, I'm letting you know that the time is shortening. The time is becoming shorter and shorter and shorter. Right. All right. So, and I'll read. Let's see.
Real quick,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, the warning for the wicked is right now. That's why Abba, I know he's placed it on me, but that's why he's telling us, like, bro, go out and spread his word, because the message of repentance for the wicked is right now, in this time. In that time, like you said, it's gonna be for the righteous. The wicked, they have their judgment coming. So that's why it's so important for us to go out and do this work, because it's the wicked that need to be warned right now, while there's still time, before this judgment start hitting. So, amen.
Praise. That's good. That's good. In chapter 9, I did have the whole chapter, but I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'll just read the sounding of the trumpet. So, chapter 9, verse 1. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose smoke out of the pit, and the smoke of the great furnace, and the sun, and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto him was given power as scorpions of the earth have power. So let's jump down and just hit the trumpets. Give me 1 second. All right, verse 13. 13, it says, and the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before Yah, saying, the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great Euphrates. And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and day, and month, and year, for to slay the third part of man. So when we see death running rampant inside the earth, and we start hearing about all kind of like just death, like how that we have never heard, we gonna know that the sixth seal has been released. Or not the sixth seal, but the sixth trumpet has been blown. We're gonna know when death is running crazy like that. That is our sign to know that we only got one more of these left, right? And if you can read the rest of that, I just wanted to touch on those verses. But we're gonna jump over to the seventh. But this is why it's important to be honoring the Father in Ruach and in truth, because he is going to be giving us these warnings, these trumpets. He's going to be signing those to us in the Ruach. And if we don't know this word, we have to study this word. If we don't know this word, we're not going to know. But if we have put in the work and have, at least studied to the best of our ability, he won't leave us in the dark. He promised us that he won't leave us in the dark about these things. We will know, right? We will know what's going on. All right. Let's jump over to chapter 11, verse 15 through 19, if you can. After Yahoo or both.
You can read it, man. That's one of my. Okay, go ahead. You want me to read it or? Okay. I'm sorry. This is one of my favorite chapters. 15 and 19. And the seventh messenger sounded, and there came to be loud voices in the Shamayim, saying, the reign of this world has become the reign of our master and of his Hamashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders sitting before Elohim on their thrones fell on their faces and worshiped the Most High, saying, we give you thanks, O Yahuwah Al Shaddai, the one who is and who was and who is coming, because you have taken your great power and reign, and the nations were enraged, and your wrath has come, in the time of the dead to be judged, and to give the reward to your servants, the prophets, and to the set-apart ones, and to those who fear your name, small and great, and to destroy those who destroy the earth. And the dwelling place of Yahuwah was opened in the Shamayim, and the ark of his covenant was seen in his dwelling place. And there came to be lightnings and voices and thunders and an earthquake and great hail.
Man, all praise to the Most High. So we just read about the seventh Angels sounding the horn, the trumpet. So and in this, I found something that was interesting. Right, this is salvation. Well, let me just read what verse was there. 18, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come. So the nations they completely fed up. The wrath is coming, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, that you should give reward unto thy servants. So it's now the time is come that the reward after these 7 plagues, we done made it through the tribulation of all of this stuff to come that has proceeded. We done made it through the first trumpet, second, all the way down to that. Sorry, y'all. All the way down to that that 7th trumpet, and we done endured through all of that. So guess what he's saying now? He's like, okay, I seen my servants, I seen my elect, my saints, all of those that stuck by me through all of this stuff. They didn't bend, they didn't bow, they didn't go back to Baal, they didn't go back to the world. Now it's time to give them their reward. So it says, and that you should give reward unto your servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and should destroy them which destroy the earth. So now it's time for pretty much everything to be consumed. It's time for everything to be consumed and for his people to be gathered. But I found something interesting right here. It says to give reward unto thy servants, the prophets. So when I thought about this, if you jump over to Revelation chapter 11, those who's got your scriptures, go to Revelation chapter 11. This is something that I had thought about. I could be wrong, but I want to hear what y'all say. Revelation chapter 7. Key word is thy servants, the prophets. All right, chapter 7, it says, and after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor the sea, nor any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living Yah. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. So this kind of also goes with what we just read. After that 7th trumpet, now he's about to do what he got to do. He about to seal up the ones that he gonna seal, and now he about to hurt the earth. Right? Verse 3, it says, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, until we have sealed the servants of our Yah in their foreheads. And I heard a number of them which were sealed, and were sealed 144,000 of the tribes of the children of Israel, and so on and so forth. You can read that, yourself, and it's just listing out 12,000 of the tribes of the children of Israel. So, jumping back over when Revelation chapter 11 and verse 18, where it says, "Thy servants, the prophets," and this is just a observation. Because when you jump back up earlier in chapter 11, if you jump back up earlier in chapter 11, it's also talking about the 2 witnesses, right? And we don't have to read the whole chapter, but let me find a good verse. Let's start at verse 3. It says, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before Yah of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceed out of their mouth and devoureth their enemy. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. All right, verse 6. These have the power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power. So that's pretty much what I want. So what they're doing is they are prophesying. They are prophesying. Y'all help me out. Is it safe to say that the servants that have been sealed with the name of Yah written on their foreheads, is it safe to say that these are the 144,000? I mean, the 144,000, which are the prophets? Anybody else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Me neither.
This is just something
think,
that I thought about, and I'm like, let me bring that to them and see what they say.
I think it would be a very good study for us to, do and jump in together. But right out the gate, I'm gonna have to say I don't think so.
I got a question for you, Doc.
Go ahead.
Did you look up? Again, I'm still driving. Did you look up that word prophets? I know you were going through servants, but did you clock the Hebrew on that word prophets?
Let's check it out real quick. Revelation 19 or 11, verse 19, 18. All right. At least in the Greek, it's saying inspired speaker. Interpreter of the oracles. Let me check it out in the Hebrew. Because are you more so speaking in the Hebrew or from what this verse is saying right here?
No, I forgot we were in the so-called New Testament, and it would be in Greek instead of Hebrew. But yeah, you could like the Hebrew on that too.
Okay. It says right here where we at in Revelation, the Old Testament prophets having foretold the kingdom, the deeds. Okay. Yeah, that was just like a, I didn't mean to throw us off right there, but that was.
I was gonna toss up a theory there because that's a question that's been asked in a couple of circles that I've been in. Who are the prophets that are talked about there? And I believe it's just referring to the elect. I believe it's referring to every one of us who keep the commandments, because at the same time we're called to call others to repentance. And that's simply all the prophets did. They did it for Israel, yes, but the main goal of the prophets were to, like you said, reveal the oracles of Yahuwah and call the folks to repentance. So that's what we call to do now with the witness and the testimony of Yahusha to make disciples. So I would argue that that's all those who keep the commandment.
Oh, praise! That's
and
a great.
And carry the testimony of Yahusha HaMashiach.
That's actually a great observation, because that's the way that I normally that I've always seen it is, those that's doing the will, of the Father. I don't know, something caught my eye when I read it. I guess it might have been the way that I read it. It was more so like, okay, the servants, the prophets. So I went back and looked up, the servants, and kind of jumped around from in the book of Revelation. I'm like, okay, maybe the servants are the prophets. When it says seal the servants, I'm saying, okay, maybe he's saying seal the prophets. But then again, we are the modern day prophets. Those that studying and understanding the book and going out and warning the people, prophesying of the things to come, So I think you stand corrected. I do believe that we are the modern day prophets, servants, which are the prophets of the Most High. All praise. So with that being said, let's see. So then everyone gonna die in Revelation 11:7. Revelation 11:7. And then they shall have finished their testimony. The beast that ascended out of the bottom of the pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them. Or at least what I believe, and this, somebody else could have a different understanding of it. What I believe is going to happen is the two witnesses will be slain. Not everybody, in the whole world, I guess you would say. But I do believe the two witnesses will be slain, but because of their testimony, which to me is the 144,000. I do believe that they'll be slain. If that answers your question, kind of more so directly. Man, if you don't come off of mute, I'm trying to understand where you was going. Oh, you're saying, are you equating the 144,000 will be the only ones that believed? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I was just saying 144,000 because I do believe that they are the first fruit, they are the first fruit. And I do believe we going down like whole separate studies, but I do believe that they are going to be the first fruit, kind of in like fashion, of a Mashiach. And it does say that Mashiach is going to be coming back on the cloud with a multitude. Where is that written at when I think about it? Somebody help me out real quick. Let's see. But it says Hamashiach is going to be coming back with those clothed in, I believe it says white garment, white linen. And I believe what's happening there is they are receiving the lump. You got your first fruit, but then you also got the lump. The lump, I believe, is going to be, those that are still be waiting. And I believe that they won't see death. I believe that they'll be the ones that's, like Scripture says, the dead and Yahusha will rise first. Then that lump, the ones that have endured all the way to the end, the 144,000, they have to give up their life because their life is a testimony to the rest. So their life, according to Scripture, is a testimony, and it has to happen. They have to, prophesy until the end of their life. In their life, this Revelation 11, they'll be slain before the nations, and the nations is going to rejoice, thinking that it's all over. But in 3 days, they're going to be resurrected, and redeemed, pretty much redeemed. And when they come back with Hamashiach, if I'm reciting this correctly, when they come back with Hamashiach, now the ones that have endured to the end will be pretty much just changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, which I believe that's that lump that was left over, that was not a part of the first fruits or the two witnesses. But I know that can go in a whole different study, which I'm more than happy to stay on afterwards and talk about. All right, let's keep it moving. All right. Yep, that's where I went. All right, let's jump over. Bo, can you give me Daniel chapter 12, verse 9 and 10?
And he said, Go, Daniel, for the words are hidden and sealed to the time of the end. Many shall be cleansed and made white and refined, but the wrong shall do wrong, and none of the wrong shall understand, but those who have insight shall understand.
So obviously we know that he's talking about this little book right here. But in context, the only one that can open that little book is the blameless one. It got the only worthy one to open the book is, Michael the archangel, which some believe to be Yahusha. That is my understanding. But this is the reason why that I believe that these trumpets and these alarms in the end are not for the wicked. It's for the righteous. It's to give us the warning, not warning, but it's to give us comfort and let us know that our redemption is near. The wicked, think about what the wicked gonna be doing anyways. The wicked ain't gonna be worried about none of this stuff going on. They're gonna be going right along with what Satan has deceived them to go right along with. They're gonna be so heavily deceived that they ain't even gonna be really understanding. Like, think about the time that we in right now, and this, like, today. You try to tell a lot of this stuff to your family, they ain't even really trying to hear this. These warnings is only for us, which is why, like I said, I believe that it's important that we hearken, to the Most High and continue to hearken, to the Most High. So he won't leave us out, in the dark. And if you jump over to Exodus chapter 20, verse 18 through 21, and this is just like a foreshadowing of how it's gonna be in the end, I believe. And I'll read this one. Exodus chapter 20, verse 18 through 21. All right. Sis said the 144,000 gonna be these babies born in the truth with no flaw. I don't know. I don't think we got time for them babies to grow up and get grown and all of that. I could be wrong, but I just don't think we got that kind of time.
I don't either.
But all praise, all praise. All right. Exodus 20, verse 18 through 21. 18, it says, this is right after the Most High gave the commandments, right? Verse 18. And all the people saw the thunderings and lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. Stood afar off. In verse 19, and they said unto Moses, speak you with us. They said, you speak with us, and we will hear, but let not Yah speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, for Yah is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. Verse 21. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where Yahuwah was. Man, I think that's exactly how it's going to be during the time of the end. Not everybody can hear the voice of the Most High. Not everybody can stand to hear the voice of the Most High, the trumpets that the angels going to be sounding. Not everybody can understand these things. This is the reason why I know that we are not going to be left in the dark about when Hamashiach is going to return, because the Most High is going to be giving us those signs. The same way that he spoke directly to Moses is the same way that he's going to speak directly to us. The same way that he tried to speak to the people, and they was, so shook, and they was like, we don't know what he's talking about. Like, we finna go on over here, and we just want to hear from Moses. It's gonna be the same way. Like, we, pushing out this word, they ain't really trying to hear the Most High at all. They trying to go over here and hear from these pastors and stuff that's gonna feel good. But back then, the Most High was telling them directly. They had a chance to hear the voice of the Most High directly. They were scared to. In the same vein, people scared of the Most High. They scared of order and being in subjection truly into the Most High. They don't truly want that. They want to hear from someone that's going to say it a little bit softer, the way that Moses did with them. But then he's, calling others such as us to hear directly from him, no matter how hard it is or no matter how tough those sayings are, we going to hear. But the beautiful thing is, the same way he done it then, he going to do it now. The beautiful thing about it is, while there is going to be a lump that's going to endure all the way to the end and they won't see death, it's not like they just going to be sitting wherever they are, not knowing what's going on, because the Most High is going to let them know. Think about it. Why is he doing things in numbers, in sevens? Why is he going to let us know these 7 trumpets is going on? Because he has to let us know when the end is going to be. It's a reason why he's doing it. Why is he going to let us know after the 7th trumpet? Why did he say, all right, now it's time to go, do away with the wickedness and destroy this Babylon, destroy this earth, excuse me, and redeem my people, my servants. Why did he say that? Because now these 7 last plagues got to come. While we're hidden and protected, wherever we may be, he ain't gonna leave us in the dark. These 7 last plagues is gonna be him letting us know, okay, boom, you see this plague came. Boom, you see this plague came. So okay, that's 2. He's letting us know by the number of these plagues how much time we got left. And when we get down to that last plague, he's not gonna keep us in the dark. When we get down to that last plague, we are going to know that we about to go home. He gonna let us know. Like, somebody has something. All praise. But he's going to let us know once we get down to that last plague, that it's time to go home. And that's the beauty of it. If you're connected with the Most High and you're hearkening to him in the Ruach and you're paying attention to what's going on in the world, like even if, let's just say we are hidden somewhere and we're not necessarily in the cities and stuff like that, so we don't necessarily know what's going on in the cities and whatnot. What do you think he uses also to let us know what's going on, even if we can't see what's going on out in the cities and in the world? His voice sounds like what? Thunderings, lightnings, like all of those things. It sounds, matter of fact, I had made a whole note. Let me pull up a verse real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, Psalms 29 is where I'll go. Psalms chapter 29. And I'll read. All right, verse 1. Or Psalm chapter 29. Whoever, Bo or Matthew Yahoo.
I got you, brother. You want me to do the whole chapter?
Yes, sir. And while he's reading, here's how the Most High is going to let us know. The ones that's not in these cities and we ducked off, we hidden away, and we're being covered by the Most High during these plagues, these 7 last plagues, because those 7 last plagues is meant to destroy the earth, but it's not meant for us. 1,000 might fall at, what does it say, at your left side, 10,000 at your right side, but it's not meant to destroy you. So we're going to be hidden away. So we might not actually see what's going on, but here's how we're going to know when that last plague happens, because all we have to do is listen to the voice of the Most High. And you can go ahead, brother.
Tehillim, chapter 29. Ascribe to Yahuwah, O you sons of the mighty. Ascribe to Yahuwah esteem and strength. Ascribe to Yahuwah the esteem of his name. Bow yourselves to Yahuwah in the splendor of Kodeshah. The voice of Yahuwah is over the waters. The owl of esteem thunders. Yahuwah is over many waters. The voice of Yahuwah is with power. The voice of Yahuwah is with greatness. The voice of Yahuwah is breaking the cedars. Yahuwah is breaking the cedars of Lebanon in pieces, and he makes them skip like a calf. Lebanon and Syrian like a young wild ox. The voice of Yahuwah cuts through the flames of fire. The voice of Yahuwah shakes the wilderness. Yahuwah shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of Yahuwah makes the deer give birth and strips the forest bare. In this Hakyah, everyone says esteem. Yahuwah sat a throne at the flood, and Yahuwah sits as sovereign forever. Yahuwah gives strength to his people. Yahuwah barak his people with peace. That's Tehillim 29.
So we see the voice of Yahuwah is very powerful and mighty. So when these 7 last plagues happening, you know, the Most High is going to be the one to give utterance. And when he gives his utterance, we going to feel it and we going to know. And we going to know our salvation is drawing near pretty much. So all praise. So it says, so each year we are commanded to sound the trumpet of alarm, also to call the assembly of the people to be ready for the return of our beloved Mashiach. All right. And that pretty much concludes what I got out of Leviticus 23, verse 23, about, you know, the Feast of Trumpets. That's where the Most High kind of led me to. So I pray that my intention on this call was to get us prepared, you know, for Feast of Trumpets and have us all walking in the Ruach and in true subjection into the Most High and in reverence to the Feast of Trumpets and what it, you know, what it's meaning for us. Like, now that we have this understanding, now that we know, you know, who we are, and now that we know we're supposed to keep the commandments and teach men to do so, and women, boy and girl, we're supposed to teach all to do so. Now that we know these things, it's just meant for us to carry these things out and in truth, you know, and in honor and true humility, you know, unto the Most High, so that we can be found worthy for atonement. You know, there's no point in, you know, lollygagging in these feasts. You know, we done had the Ruach poured upon us in this time, you know, for a reason, by reason of us, you know, coming back to him and him letting us know that time is short. We don't have a lot of time left. And now we, you know, are the ones to go and blow the trumpet and the alarm to our family and friend, blow these last calls, these last little warnings that we got before this destruction gets crazy out here, and before the Most High really start pouring these trumpets out and these 7 last plagues out upon the earth. So all praise to the Most High. I pray that it was edifying, and if, you know, prayerfully you got, you know, at least one thing from it. So all praise.
It's Sabbath day. We gotta go eat whatever's in there.
Dang, I didn't know y'all was trying to record. My bad. But if you want to record it, you can just simply go on YouTube, and you can just, you know, look at it on YouTube.